My name is Robert Hall. I've been a full-time photographer for 12 years, and the last 6 years has been in the editorial and commercial space. A normal day in this room is pretty typical because it's either editing, right, and it's just me staring at this computer. As far as when I step out of this room, there is no typical. In the last month, I photographed CPA, I photographed doctors and med students, dancers. I mean, like, my last month has been all over the place, and that's pretty typical. The only thing that's really consistent is what I do for the university and then the Chevy cars. My first job wasn't actually with photography at all, but I was an assistant for a photographer, and he did primarily weddings, and I spent about 2.5 years assisting him. And that was everything from moving bags around at first to eventually like second shooting with him, managing his lights a lot. So when I got to start on my own, I kind of had a portfolio at the best venues and everything. So I really was able to hit the ground running in terms of the wedding world. And so I did that for about a decade. And then I kind of tried to navigate into the editorial and commercial workspace. The first thing that kind of like sparked the move into it was landing a local university. From there, I started working with multiple agencies. One of the clients that I work with is doing all the tier 2 regional advertising for Chevy. How I got into that is actually ridiculous. One of my buddies, he did the commercials at the time for Chevy. He was doing the videos, and he called me in a panic one day like, "Hey, will you be in a commercial?" And so I did. I was in a 2016 Chevy Malibu commercial, and it's still rolling locally to this day.
It also fits all my friends who've suddenly taken an interest in my job and my new Malibu.
That's how I originally met that crew and subsequently started doing the photography for them. And I think we're the only place in the country that has its own regional advertising for a major auto brand that isn't dealership level. We actually have our own level specifically geared to the Metro Detroit market, and that's because we own more Chevy cars than anywhere else in the world, and we lease more Chevy cars than anywhere else in the world. So we have our own marketing for that. So there's definitely, you know, knowing your own region and the things that make it tick is definitely advantageous in finding opportunities in the commercial workspace. So my entire bag is Sony A1, Sony A7R5, love that. Memory cards using the OWC Type A cards that have been absolutely fantastic. Very uneventful, but that's exactly what you want out of a memory card. But I think the thing that I can appreciate most about having switched to those is just the speed of getting things off the card. I'm 100% a flow state person. Like, energy is everything in this industry, especially when you're capturing people. So for me, I really like to just kind of have these dedicated blocks of work where I can just go, and to not have to sit there and wait for files to move around. So I've really appreciated that the cards are a lot faster than the UHS-2 cards I was using before. Keeps life stress-free, but I still lost all my hair.